My name is Lance Anderson, and we're at my home in Prior Lake, Minnesota. This house is off the hook. I would say the primary goal was bringing in a lot of organic materials into the home, lots of textures, try to do things that I hadn't seen done before.
Lance really challenged us with the unique features. The architectural style of this home, it's more of a mountain modern house. The stone is a big feature that runs through the house inside and out.
As simple as that design looks, it was one of the more challenging things in the home from an engineering standpoint. The challenge being, how do you put a 100-inch TV with 7-foot speakers and a 7-foot fireplace all in a wall and make it look good and on purpose? Stellar was the only solution for this project.
When we first met Lance, he came in with a concept for a wall that you're seeing behind me that was pretty spectacular.
It was super important to this design for me that the glass of the fireplace and the glass of the TV were on the same plane. Having a large TV was a must.
As we got into it, you're looking at the speakers, the TV set, and that whole panel of custom steel behind it. It meant that the fireplace had to be specially sized specifically for the width of the TV set itself. And secondarily, we needed to bring the glass out forward of the fireplace so it's proud of the wall, which is not typical. So it's a cantilever design, which very few fireplace manufacturers can do. It's a whole different animal, has a different sense of the airflow and the exhaust within the firebox to make sure that everything stays cool and safe and still looks beautiful.
Stellar was able to pull that off, and it really was the anchor to making this design happen.
Being able to customize the fireplace means that we don't have the annoying filler pieces. We can actually size the opening to match the TV. We can size the height to match the speakers. And we can actually, in this case, extend the front on the fireplace so that it flushed out and gave that seamless look, like everything's in one plane.
The TV and the fireplace make this accent wall. We could bring the finishing materials all the way to the firebox.
Well, the beauty of our designs for Stellar is that we're trying to get the heat out of the fireplace and away from the home. But to do so, we have to balance out getting the exhaust out of the firebox, bringing fresh air in between two layers of glass to keep that outer layer safe to the touch, which also keeps it cooler to the room at the same time. It's meant to be a year-round product, whether it's in Minnesota or in Texas, California. They can burn it in July, they can burn it in January.
Having the fireplace on in the evening and not generating a ton of heat in the house, even having the air on and not adding to the heat, just for ambient and comfort.
It's always a challenge as you go towards more modern. It doesn't make sense to have a traditional fireplace, which is how we ended up at this design, where it's more of a linear fireplace.
20,000 BTUs is the maximum that we can get within our industry per linear foot of fireplace. So looking in there, that's got about 140,000 BTUs. So number one, you get really high flames, and they're bouncy, happy flames, as I like to call them. Secondarily, we feed the burner in a different way from the competition. Every one of those linear feet of flames has its own supply, so we're always going to have the same level of flame going all the way across. So it keeps it from dissipating and gives it a nice uniform burn, regardless of the installation.
So when we look at this design, or a lot of people see this and interpret it, it looks very simple and clean, which was the end goal, but there was a lot of sophistication involved in making that happen.
Stellar was really easy for us to partner with. Their communication was good on the front end, as well as their install was on time.
This fireplace wall here, working out all the details of how the fireplace coordinates with the TV and coordinates with the speakers next to it. There were a lot of moving pieces in that were really challenging and really exciting to see executed.
It was a collaborative effort.
Well, so the fireplace is kind of the center of the home, right? Everything revolves around that. You sit around it. It's just a nice element to have the fire in the home.
Having dinner the other night, we turned the fireplace on. There's one light above the table here. We can turn it to match the fireplace color and really just bring in some more warmth, extending the fireplace into the space even more.
The beauty of Stellar is that we can do anything completely customized down to 1/100th of an inch. So for him, it was very exacting dimensions in order to bring his room to the forefront.